Hello, my name is Shio Kawakami from the University of Electro-Communications, Tokyo, Japan. I will be talking about multi-factorial evolutionary algorithm using objective similarity-based parent selection. This work treats optimization problems with multiple objectives. Optimization problems with multiple objective functions can be divided into two types. One is multi-objective optimization and the other is multifactorial optimization. These figures are two-dimensional objective function spaces. The task of multi-objective optimization problems is to find the Pareto optimal solutions showing the optimal trade-off among objectives in the objective space. On the other hand, the task of multifactorial optimization problems is to find the set of multiple global optimal solutions in all objective functions. Evolutionary algorithms are particularly suited to solve both problems. They are example such behaviors. The population is randomly generated initially. In the case of multi-objective optimization, solutions in the population evolve toward the Pareto front. On the other hand, in the case of multifactorial optimization, solutions in the population cooperate in searching for each optimal solution. Recently, the attention of evolutionary multifactorial optimization has been growing. Our focus in this work is evolutionary multifactorial optimization. In representative algorithms for multifactorial optimization named multifactorial evolutionary algorithms, MFEA, each solution has a scale factor Si indicating objective function index, and solutions are evaluated only on the objective function that is indicated by scale factor. For example, in this figure, there are 4 solutions x1, x2, x3, and x4, and 2 objective functions f1, f2. If solution x1 scale factor is 2, it is evaluated only on f2. If solution x2's scale factor is 1, it is evaluated only on f1. Other solutions are same to this. In this way, each solution is associated with an objective function by using the scale factor. In the study of evolutionary multifactorial optimization, the conventional algorithms recombine solutions without considering similarities among objective functions. The ease with which the search proceeds depends on the similarity of the objective function. The recombinations of solutions with scale factors of similar objective functions encourage optimizations of their objective functions. For example, as shown in this figure, when the locations of the global optimal solutions of 2 objective functions are close, we can say that the objective functions are highly similar. Solutions that have these objective functions as their scale factors can share useful information with each other in order to search for locations that are close to each other, making the search easier. However, the recombinations of solutions with scale factors of dissimilar objective functions deteriorate the simultaneous optimization of their objective functions. For example, as shown in this figure, when the global optimal solutions of 2 objective functions are far from each other, the similarity of the objective functions is low. If the solutions with these objective functions as their scale factors exchange information on each other's search, the search will not proceed well. the use of similarities among objective functions for the recombinations would enhance evolutionary multifactorial optimization. The research objective of this work is to propose a new algorithm to accelerate evolutionary multifactorial optimization. The proposed algorithm estimates similarities among objective functions and encourages crossovers of solutions with scale factors of similar objective functions. This enhances the information exchange among these solutions and synergic effects for optimizations of these similar objective functions. On the other hand, the proposed algorithm also suppresses crossovers of solutions with scale factors of these similar objective functions. This reduces the negative effect that can arise when these similar objective functions are involved. In this work, we use the multifactorial distance minimization problem as benchmark problem. The multifactorial distance minimization problem places goals in a two-dimensional variable space. The task is to find out points, solutions, closer to all goals gk as possible in the variable space. Therefore, there is the same number of objective functions as goals. Solution is represented by vector x, and its objective function values are given by this formula. The goal is located on the circumference of the circle with radius r. The goals are numbered k from 0 to 59 according to where they are located when the circumference is divided into 60 parts like the minutes hand of a clock. The equation is as shown here. This figure shows an example with two goals, that is, two objectives. Black dots represent two goals, G15 at the 15 minutes mark on the clock, and G45 at the 45 minutes mark on the clock for each objective, and points to be found in the variable space respectively. To observe the search behavior as shown in this figure, the initial solutions are randomly generated inside the circle with radius omega. Now, let me talk about crossover in MFEA. This figure shows a situation where there are solutions with different scale factors in a population of solutions. The different colors represent the different scale factors. Blue is scale factor 1, yellow is scale factor 2, and green is scale factor 3. Here, we assume that the blue scale factor 1 and the yellow scale factor 2 are dissimilar. The blue scale factor 1 and the green scale factor 3 are similar, and the yellow scale factor 2 and the green scale factor 3 are also similar. In the conventional MFEA, in the optimization process, repeatedly two solutions are randomly chosen as parents and crossover to create two children in this solution population. Scale factors of parents are inherited to ones of children. In the conventional MFEA, since the parent selection is random, two solutions with dissimilar scale factors may become a pair of parents. It would deteriorate the multifactorial optimization. On the other hand, the proposed methods select parents based on scale similarity. Scale similarity is objective similarity. Solutions with similar scale factors are frequently paired to apply crossover. On the other hand, solutions with dissimilar objective factors are rarely paired as parents. we expect that this similarity-based parent selection enhances the multifactorial optimization. To do this, we add two steps to the conventional MFEA before the parent selection. The first is to estimate the similarity of the objective function. This figure shows an image of calculating the similarity of the objective function. G10, G15, and G45 are goals of three objective functions of multifactorial distance minimization problems respectively. Within the solution population P, there are sub-solution populations P10, P15, and P45 that try to get closer to the coordinates of each goal. For each sub-solution population, we take the average of how far it is from the center of the coordinates 0.5, 0.5, and create a vector. If the center of the coordinates is C, and the average coordinates of the solutions in the sub-solution population Pk is Mk, the search direction vector Vk is represented by this equation, where the big K is the set of indices K of the goals to be treated in this problem. Vk is created in the same number as goals, i.e. the same number as objective functions. Then, SKL is calculated as the similarity of these vectors. SKL is the cosine similarity between Vk and Vl, which is transformed to become between 0 and 1. This is a formula for calculating SKL. SKL is calculated for all combinations of such direction vectors used in the optimization. This is the estimated similarity of the objective functions. In this figure, for example, V10 and V15 have high similarity because of their similarity in direction, and V45 has low similarity to the other vectors, so it has low similarity to the other objective functions. Next, the second step is to change the degree to which the solutions that is responsible for a particular problem cross over each other based on the estimated similarity SKL. In this equation, the value of SKL is used to calculate the value of PKL. PKL is the probability that a solution with scale factor K and a solution with scale factor L will be pair of parents. The larger the value of SKL, the larger the value of PKL. The strength of the bias in PKL depends on the parameter alpha. When alpha is small, PKL is less biased, and when alpha is large, PKL is more biased. Alpha equals 0 means that the parents are chosen randomly. In the example shown in this figure, since S1015 was found to be high in the previous step, so P1015 will also be high. Also, for example, S1545 is low, so P1545 will be low. Note that the SKL and PKL change dynamically during the optimization. To assess the performance of such algorithms, we use metric D given by this formula. D is the average of K distances, each of which is the shortest distance between each goal and the best solution in the population. The shorter D, the better multifactorial optimization performance. We conducted an experiment to compare the performance of the proposed method with conventional MFEA and conventional single objective evolutionary algorithm SOEA. The proposed method is experimented by varying the parameter alpha in 11 different ways as shown in here. Other detailed experimental settings are described on this slide. Here is the problem settings used in the experiment. There are two types of problems, uniformly distributed and biasedly distributed. First, this is a uniform distribution. The goals are distributed in a circle so that the distance between adjacent goals is constant. In this experiment, we used uniform 4, that is 4 goals, uniform 10, that is 10 goals, and uniform 12, that is 12 goals. Second, this is a biased placement. The 12 goals are placed biased on the circumference. In biased A, one goal is isolatedly positioned from others. Biased B has two groups of goals, and the two groups are positioned on the opposite side. Each group has 6 goals, and they are densely distributed. Biased C has 4 groups of goals, and the 4 groups are uniformly positioned. Each group has 3 goals, and they are densely distributed. This figure shows the results of running the algorithm on uniform distributions. These are graphs of D for uniform 4, uniform 10, and uniform 12, respectively. It can be seen that the proposed method improves D as alpha increases. Also, comparing the proposed method with conventional MFEA and conventional SOEA, we can see that the proposed method gives the best results when alpha is 1000. Also, here is a graph of the values pKl that represent the probability of parent selection. The left graph shows the probability when alpha is 0, and the right graph shows the probability when alpha is 1. From this, we can see that when alpha is 0, the parent selection is done randomly, and when alpha is 1, each objective function is well related to itself and to the objective function whose goal is close to its location. Thus, as alpha increases, the probability of parent selection becomes more biased, and every objective function becomes more related to itself and less related to the other objective functions. Next, we show the results of running the algorithm with the biased distributions. This graph shows D for biased A, biased B, and biased C, respectively. Here, we can see that the proposed method has the best D when alpha is 100 among the 3 algorithms, and the performance of the proposed method becomes worse when alpha is more than 1000. This is the graph of PLK when alpha is 100. The graphs are for biased A, biased B, and biased C, respectively. From this, we can see that in biased A, solutions with a skill factor 0 have a low probability of being parent pairs with solutions with other skill factors, and in biased B and biased C, the selection probabilities are shared among the groups of objective functions whose goal positions are close. Finally, let me conclude my talk. We proposed MFEA using objective similarity-based parent selection, which can estimate the similarity of the objective functions and control the crossover of solutions based on the similarity. We compared the proposed method and the conventional method. Experimental results shows that the proposed method is better than the conventional method, and the distance relations among objective functions are matched to the similarities estimated by the proposed method. As future work, we are going to address real-world multifactorial design optimization problems by using the proposed algorithm. My contact information is as described on this slide. Thank you.